Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys we're going to be doing a Lunalight deck profile with my friend here. So I hope you guys all enjoy it, and without further ado, I'll let him take over.
Hi, my name is Rizzy, and I'd just like to say Lunalight has always been one of my favorite decks ever since the deck came out, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's a very aggressive sort of fusion deck, and it has a lot of plays in its repertoire, and it has a very big main play that I will get into later, but without further ado, let's get started.
I'm sorry guys if it's a little bit loud, we are at locals, so I just
we are at locals right now actively, so you might get a little loud. Alright, so for the first three cards, we have 3 Lunalight Kaleido Chick. This card is basically your main playmaker of the deck. Her effect reads, you can basically send one Lunalight monster from your extra deck or deck to the graveyard, which can get you into a lot of combo plays. She also takes a name, so like let's say you send something like Cat Dancer or Panther Dancer, it will take the name, and when you're using it as fusion material, you can actually have that name, so it makes fusion summoning a lot easier in the deck. And she also has a grave effect and a banish effect. Her banish effect says that you can't activate anything during the battle phase of the turn, which really helps because Lunalights are an OTK deck, and they need to basically get in the battle phase and just attack for as much damage as possible. So that's really good. And with the graveyard effect, whenever it uses fusion material for basically a Lunalight monster, so this includes Cat Dancer, Paint Dancer, Leo Dancer, she actually gets you back a polymerization when she's fused with polymerization, which is really good, and it can help you extend your combos and get you into your bigger and better fusion monsters. So overall, she's just an awesome card, an awesome addition to that, and I'm so happy that she is part of the deck. So on to our next card. Next card, I play 3 Lunalight Blue Cat. Lunalight Blue Cat, when she's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 Lunalight monster from the deck. This is not once per turn, and this effect, she can summon herself. This is insanely good because of 1, her special summoning effect, and 2, you can just kind of keep looping over and over blue cats for if you need protection or something, and then at the end of the battle phase you can just summon something like a Chick or another Lunalight monster if you have it in the deck. She's a great combo piece because her special summon effect says that you can, when she special summons, she doubles stack up any Lunalight monster on the field. That's optional, but you mainly want to do it for your bigger monsters so that you can make them even bigger and achieve that OTK sort of range. So, great card in the deck. Next up, 2 Lunalight Crimson Fox. I've been teetering between 3 and 2, but I think 2 is the most optimal because you don't want to see this card all the time, but you don't want to not see it at all. So her effect reads, when she's sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and change it to 0. And also, when a Lunalight monster you control is targeted at all by card effect, by anything, you can banish it and then negate that effect, and then if you do, you gain 1,000 attack, or not 1,000 attack, 1,000 life points each player does. She's not that great, but she's good for protection and stuff like that, which this deck really lacks, and she gives. And I'm so happy that this card is finally in the TCG because along with her sister over here, Kaleido Chick, she has been in the OCG. They have been in the OCG for a really long time, so it's been really annoying, but they're here. I'm happy. great card in there. Next up, this is probably your most important card. 3 Lunalight Black Sheep. You want to see this card as often as possible. She is your polymerization searcher, and when she's sent to the graveyard via fusion material, she can recur back a Lunalight monster that you use as fusion material. This is insanely good. These effects are not once per turn at all. You can use them as many times as you want, as many sheeps as you have. You can just get back Lunalight monsters or get polymerizations out of your deck, depending on what you need, really. And she's just a great card. Play 3 of her at all times. And she's kind of famous because of a certain Zodiac combo, but
we don't care. That's not played anymore.
That's in the past now.
She's rehabilitated.
She is rehabilitated. She's back in her own deck, and she's just awesome. Next up, I play 2 Lunalight Purple Butterfly. So Purple Butterfly, her effect reads that you can discard this card, and a Lunalight monster you control gains 1,000 attack. This effect helps when you're trying to go for an OTK. Excuse me. But that's not her primary effect. That's not what we use it for. We use her for her graveyard effect. Her graveyard effect reads that you can banish her and then special summon Lunalight monster from your hand. And this is really good because you can special summon like chicks or blue cats and use them for any purposes that you need them for. She's good, but it's the same situation with Crimson Fox. You play her because you need that sort of extra special summoning in this deck, and she's awesome. So just do her. Next up, this deck does have pendulum monsters. It has 2 pendulum monsters, Lunalight Wolf and Lunalight Tiger. I play 2 Wolf and 3 Tiger. So what Lunalight Tiger does is she's kind of the less impressive one, but she's still very good in the deck. So her pendulum effect reads, once per turn you can target 1 Lunalight monster in your graveyard that was summoned properly, and you can special summon, but its effects are negated. While the effect negation part sucks, you can get some use out of it because Kaleido Chick, you can combo this with Kaleido Chick, because Kaleido Chick's effect is, 1, it's not once per turn, so you can fuse with it and then get it back to your hand, or not get it back to your hand, get it back to your field with Tiger, and then her effect to send to the graveyard is cost, so you can still send stuff to the graveyard, just the name taking effect will be negated, she won't get that effect, but mostly what we want to do with her is to send to the graveyard, and then during the end phase, the card is destroyed. This is less important, but you can combo it with Blue Cat, bring back Blue Cat, go to end phase, destroy Blue Cat, get another Blue Cat out on the field, which is really good for if you need more protection during your opponent's turn, stuff like that. And then we have the better of the 2 pendulum monsters, Lunalight Wolf. I only play 2 of her because you don't want to see her in your opening hand because of her pendulum effect. So her pendulum effect reads that you can banish Lunalight monsters from your hand or graveyard to basically fusion summon. This is once per wolf. So if you have 2 in the pendulum scale, you can use both to fuse. It's not that useful in Master Rule 4, but it is useful to get out your fusion monsters and stuff like that, and to get in the combos and stuff like that. And then their monster effects. So Tiger's monster effect says that if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon a Lunalight monster from your graveyard for free. This is good because typically people like to go soak your pendulum scales. And if they Ghost Ogre this, you're just getting a plus at that point. You basically get what you want, no matter what. And then Wolf's monster effect is that she just does Lunalight monsters you control disappears. That's it. These are very good cards. I'm fiddling around with 2 of these, but you can play 3 and it's fine. But this, I definitely stand by playing at 2 because you don't want to see her in her opening hand because that would just be bad. It wouldn't be very economical because you couldn't use it.
That is true. So we're going to the side deck now?
Not done with main deck.
Oh, we're not done? Okay. Good, man.
So, finally, the last monsters I play are hand traps. I play 2 Ghost Ogre and then 2 Effect Failure. Ghost Ogre is just always a great card to Ghost Ogre Pendulum Scales or stop Electromites.
Or anything else.
Or anything else, really, that can be destroyed with Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is just a great card. This is more of a budget variant, so I would play Ash if I could, but unfortunately we don't have the funds for that.
Is there any other cards that you would take out if you had the money for? Like you would, if you had the money, like unlimited money for Yu-Gi-Oh, that you would substitute, you would just put in? Like, is there anything like an extra deck or main deck you would use besides Ash?
In the extra deck, yeah. I'd recommend instead of using Dark Rebellion, I'd use Tornado Dragon, absolutely.
Okay.
As a first turn defense.
If you had Tornado Dragon.
If I had Tornado Dragon, I've had the funds for Tornado Dragon. Just for that first turn effect, especially if you're playing against True Dracos, because you can just shut them down quickly.
Okay, I understand that.
But these are, and then Effect Failure is alright. It's really good against the Pendulum matchup because of stopping Electromite. That is the objective when going up against the Pendulum matchup, stopping Electromite.
Stop Electromite, you stop the deck a little bit.
Stop the deck a little bit, and if you have both these cards in your hand, then you basically shut down the deck.
Gotcha.
Which is really good, and yeah, these cards are just awesome. That's it for my monsters. Now for the spells. This deck is very spell based, and first off we play 3 Polymerization. This is your native fusion card of the deck, other than Wolf. Wolf can't work all the time, but this card can. Unfortunately, Lunalights don't have their own fusion spell, but this can work just as well. You can also play Fusion Substitute, but I like playing Polymerization over that, because with Fusion Substitute you have to have the monsters on field. With Polymerization, you can just have them in hand. And I feel like fusing monsters from your hand is infinitely more useful. This is one of your more important cards in your deck. This is the reason why Sheep works so well. And this gets you into your bigger fusions, stuff like that. So yeah, 3 Polymerization, done. It's a fusion deck. So next up, 3 Tenki, which searches your entire deck. It's kind of self-explanatory. It searches level 4 lower Beast Warriors, which almost all the cards in your main deck are, exception being Wolf, and there are other ways to search Wolf in this deck. You don't necessarily need to search it all the time, and this can get you into Kaleido Chick, which can get you into a lot of major plays and get your engine going, and it's overall just a great card. So, Tenki at 3. Next up, 3 Lunalight Perfume. So what this card does is, its first effect is you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard, special summon it. This is really good for bringing back chicks, blue cats, stuff like that. But we also do play 2 burials, because this card does have a graveyard effect, and the graveyard is that worth it to warrant the 2 burials. So its graveyard effect is you can banish this card, discard a card, and then you can add a Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. This does not have a level restriction. This is not once per turn. Neither of these effects are once per turn on this card. This card is pretty insane, but it does suck when you get Ash, because that is a neg 1. But honestly, that risk is worth it, because the fact that it's not once per turn, you can just discard another card. well, that technically is another neg. You're getting something that you need, like wolf or tiger or chick or whatever you need at that particular moment. So yeah, three perfume, 2 burial. Next up, 2 Lure of Darkness. Lure of Darkness is very much so needed in this deck because all the monsters in your main deck, exception being the pendulum monsters, are dark monsters. So it's very rare that you will miss off of this card unless you're running low on cards and you don't have monsters, which can happen, but is very unlikely to happen because by the time you get to that point, you will have just basically killed them by then. And if you didn't, this card is just a great draw card. It doesn't suck like Desires does when it gets ashed because 1, this card's not once per turn. 2, you don't lose 10 cards out of your deck. So I'd rather play this over Desires, but Desires can have a home in this deck. You can absolutely play Desires if you have it or you want to. I just like playing Lure of Darkness, so yeah. Finally, generic spells. Monster Reborn is Dark Hole, and then 2 Cosmic Cyclones. So Cosmic Cyclone, you take 1,000 and banish 1, which is really good because destruction is kind of a bad thing in nowadays games because a lot of spell and trap cards have floating effects or something to that effect. So banishing it gets rid of it permanently, which is awesome. Dark Hole because it's board wipe. Board wipes are awesome, and Monster Reborn because it's Monster Reborn. Enough said. Then finally, for the last card in my main deck, I only play 1 trap. Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning is just a good generic trap. You get to stop a lot of summons with this, and it's just a great card in general. Alright, that was it for the main deck. Now for my side deck, I play 2 Chaos Hunters and 2 Lancia. So Chaos Hunter is for the matchups where they special summon a lot. This is helpful against Trickstar when you do when they do the Eater of Millions play, because the Eater of Millions is automatically dead after you summon this thing. It is kind of a neg, but it gives you so much stopping power because a lot of decks these days banish to activate effects, which is really good. Which is really good to stop because if they banish, they get a lot more effects off. Like for example, dinosaurs. They get out Conductor Tyranno a lot easier and stuff like that. I also play Lancia to do the same thing as this does, but Lancia is more for the dinosaur matchup and the Invoked Magnite matchup, because you can just discard it, while this card you have to special summon it. This card is kind of worse than Lancia, but I like playing both for those matchups where I need one or the other. So yeah. Next up, Pendulum Heat, Wavering Eyes. Wavering Eyes is really good because you can pop scales, and if your opponent has 2 scales, you're playing against Pendulum Magicians, this is card 4. You can actually add a tiger or a wolf from your deck to your hand, which is really good and really awesome. So yeah, and also I just hate Pendulum Magician matchup. Next up, I play 2 very interesting cards. So I played Shared Ride, and I play Mistaken Arrest. So Mistaken Arrest is kind of a poor man's Stroll and Lockbird. So basically it does the same thing. You can't add cards from your deck to your hand except drawing them. This is for the True Draco matchup, So, because mostly what that deck does is add from the hand. They do draw a lot too, but the more crucial stuff that they get are off of ads, which this prevents, which is extremely good. And then shared ride is a little bit different. Every time your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, you draw one. This is mostly for the Trickstar matchup because they have to take that risk, because if they don't add anything from their deck to their hand, they're basically defenseless. So basically you're going to keep drawing cards, and sure, Candina may be a problem, but you have a much higher likely chance of drawing the effect veiler to stop that Candina from burning you every turn. These cards are really good for certain matchups, and yeah. Awesome. Finally, for my traps, I play 2 Royal Decree, and then the Pendulum Haiti card of Paul, 3-dimensional barrier. I play 3-dimensional barrier because of the Pendulum Magician matchup. The Pendulum Magician matchup can be grueling if you don't have dimensional barrier or you don't side it in, and it's and if you don't have this card against them, you basically just flop as they make their ginormous board. And Royal Decree is more so for the True Draco matchup, so that you can stop stuff like Anti-Spell Fragrance, Imperial Order, and all of their traps that let them tribute summon, which can work extremely well. Because while all those traps can stop your deck from working, it's mostly going to be
the deep barriers. Really quick. Well, thank you very much, man, for that deck profile. I know a lot of you guys out there in the past have asked for a Lunalight deck profile, and hope this was a very comprehensive build, so thank you very much, man. So, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks, man.